It's good to see Mauricio again. Mauricio Quinteros, it's good to see you. I know that you were not doing well, but now you are better. So good. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Gracias, Rabbi. Bien, súper bien. Sí, ahora mejor. Gracias.
Qué lindo. Anybody else has something to say to us at this moment? I always like to hear from you. Yes, Alejandro. Sorry.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, Alejandro. Sí.
It's about the, you speak about that something that you say that is take my attention and it's very important about the Ten Commandments as the only thing that God impressed in the rock, as you say. That it's very important to understand. So it's not nothing new. We know that, but now I see in the other it's other way to see it. When soon we are going to celebrate Shavuot, that is the gift or God give, we receive the Torah. We say that the Torah is the 10 books, the five books, huh? Bereshit, Shemot, the five first book. But what we receive in Sinai, we receive all the 5 books, or we receive the command.
The 10 Commandments.
Yeah, okay. But why we say that the Torah is the 5 books?
Because the term Torah is a generic term, and it's a term that applies to many things. Because Torah means principles, teachings, ways. To be more specific, to be more technical, we needed to say the Eser Hadibrot, the 10 words that is mentioned in the Torah, in the Barim. They specifically say the Eser Hadibrot, the 10 words. And also in the Shulchan, when they put in the ark, in the Aron, why they put it? The tablets. Okay, what they carry, then is called the generic term is called Torah, but the specific term that we are talking about is about the 10 Commandments, or the 10 words, or the 10 principles. This is what it is on the rock. Everything else is what I call it application, and also has to do. This is what I mentioned this morning. Has to do with the times, many, I try to make a differentiation between ritual laws versus moral laws, because we put all together, because who are we to separate or to take or add? The Creator said in the Barim, do not add or take away anything from my word, and we don't add. But we need to learn how to apply certain things, where certain things work for what. If we do not understand the applications, we can do whatever we want to do. And this is the confusion. This is the reason that, if you compare, okay, the Tanakh, if you compare with the Talmud is a library. Okay, and it's every opinion of every human being that has some kind of knowledge and give it their opinion about certain things. A lot of midrashim, a lot of teachings about that. But those teachings are not the word of God. If you are a rabbinical Jew, you are an ultra-Orthodox Jew, you take the Torah in one way, and you take the Talmud, the Shear as superior to the Torah because it's last revelation. And it's similar to what Christianity does. They have the New Testament, last revelation is more powerful. And then you have the Muslim, they have the Quran, last revelation. And now who is in the top of the top? Who are they? The Mormons have revelation. Each one has the last revelation. And we need to be careful that in the Sinai was given to us the Torah, the tablets, and were written, and they say specifically written by the finger of God. I mean, they were engraved, and they don't take anything. Now, can we make changes? I say we need to learn to apply the truth of God in our lives.
Rabbi, you said that they took 40 years. Do you think that's a figure of speech, or they actually took 40 years, or maybe they used 40 years to say it took a long time and they used the number 40 because somehow in Gematria it has a certain meaning? What do you think?
I think in my understanding, in my humble understanding, because could be both. But in the Torah talks about the 2 years and 38 years at the end, talks specifically about 40. Okay? Then I need to look at that because they say 40. And yes, Gematria has a special meaning for 40. And maybe they go hand by hand because the Creator give us a lot of illustrations. And like I said to you, the Hebrew language is a language of pictures.
Right.
And the message is about is another generation. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah.
When you spoke, maybe you can elaborate a little bit about, you said that they needed to stay within their own tribe.
Yes.
And then you equated that with your rights begin where my rights end. How can you elaborate on that a little?
As a principle, I would like to see, have you seen two children playing with the toys? And this is a child that has many toys, and then comes another child and starts playing with one toy that he's not using. And what the child does, immediately goes and pulls the toy. It's my toy. It's not your toy. And even that has a lot of toys here, doesn't want to allow the child to play the toy. And we become very, what I call it, controlling. Now, the Creator give us these 12 tries in order to protect of course, the community, and each one has their own role to play. And what happened when one of those that are in the north goes to the south and doesn't know how the south does their job, how the group, and creates imbalance. Then how we can apply those terms, the child and this in mind, is that we need to learn. When my rights of mine ended with the rights of others begins. What is the application? The application is that there needs to be an order, and we need to respect each other. I cannot get in your house and say, you know why you have a big house and you need to let me live here. And by the way, that was the communist idea. That is no respect to private property or anything like that. And the Creator is giving us boundaries and among each other. We are, let me put another example. We are here different families, and my family has a way to do certain things. Comes another family and say to me, no, that's not the way that you need to do it. This is the way that you need to do it. How you react to that.
Stay in your own camp.
Stay in your own camp. You can do whatever in your own camp, but not in my camp. That is the idea, the order, respect for each other. You can give an opinion. The other has the right to take it or not. Okay? I don't know if I
like
Us, you were going to say something, and I saw you were smiling.
My smile gave me away.
Yes.
Your example of being out on the ocean and having your ship turn over.
Yeah.
People there don't know me, but I spent most of my life on the ocean fishing.
Yes.
And it's very interesting because I'm going to make an example. God says, check your life raft every year. Have it serviced, have fresh food and fresh water cans put in it. And so I take my free will and I say, I'm not going to spend that money. I'm not going to do that. And my ship turns over, and these life rafts on ships now come up automatically if the boat sinks. And so I'm in the water, my boat sinks, and I thought, oh, if I'd only listened to God, I didn't have my life raft service, and it doesn't come up.
What a beautiful.
But on the other hand, I followed God, and lo and behold, I'm in the water, and I see this life raft float to the surface, and there it is. I had it serviced. I did what God said. I had it serviced, and there's my life raft for me to get into with water and food supplies until that boat comes and rescues me.
Man, what a beautiful example. So exactly what I wanted to say. What a beautiful thing. I remember because you told me the last time that if somebody fall in the water, is dead in 3 minutes, no?
In Alaska, they give you 2 minutes because it's so cold in the winter when you fall into 29, 30 degree water. Your first response is to exhale because it's such a shock to your body. And so you're sinking, you've got rain gear on, you're heavy, and your first breath you take in is solid water. And so you don't live.
I hope you don't have that from personal experience.
No, but one of our boats did have a guy go overboard, but miraculously the boat got turned around and they got him back on board and put him in a hot shower, and he did survive.
Oh, that's good. I like the way that the camps are. I think you spoke about it last week, not this week, but each tribe was separated according to strong protecting the weaker.
Yes.
And that's one of the ideas that gives us a picture of how we are supposed to.
I can give you right now that picture if you want to hear. I'll repeat it again. You know, the tribes, the Mishkan was divided by direction. East, west,
North, east, southwest,
and south and north. You know, in the east part was Aaron. Okay, in the south part was Kehat. You know, in the west part was Gershon, and in the north was Merari. Then there was, each one was doing around, you know, the temple, and down in the Mishkan. And then outside that circle, I call it the fence, who will take care that the rest of the tribe wouldn't get inside the temple and they could be killed. In the east part, you have Judah, Zebulun, and Issachar. And here sometimes we don't picture by the name, but Judah was now the leader of the Israelites as a tribe. There was the tribe of the tribe, and the tribe of Issachar and the tribe of Zebulun were the youngest children of Leah. That he, as the older brother, was taking care of the youngest children. Now, in the north, they had Ephraim as the leader, who was representing Joseph. On one side, he had Manasseh, who was his brother, older brother, and the other side, he had his uncle Benjamin, who was the youngest, and all Joseph people. Then in the south, you have Reuben in the middle, and on the one side you have Simeon, and the other side you have Gad. You know, Gad was the God was Bilhah's son. That was a son of the concubine. And in the north, you have the three of them are a son of the concubine. Dan,
In the west. The west?
On the north.
You said north was Joseph before.
No, I say.
Yeah, because I've been writing it down. You said north was.
I'm sorry. Then I misspoke. On the west.
That's west. Okay.
I was talking east Judah, north Ephraim.
No. That's what you
sorry, west.
North.
West.
That makes me crazy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, now the north.
I changed my mind. My head is not working well.
And now the north.
On the east, Judah. On the west, Ephraim. Now, on the south, you have Reuben. And on the north, you have Dan. In the north tribe, but it's very interesting. You know, to me, it's very interesting because it's the way that you go. The three tribes that are there are all the concubines' children. You know, Shear and Naphtali. Okay? Shear is a son of Silpa, and Naphtali is a son of Bilhah. And Dan is the son of Bilhah. So Bilhah has two sons, Dan and Naphtali. And Silpa, one son, Asher. They are the ones that form the north. Now, what to me was something special?
Mm-hmm.
What was the area that they were constantly attack Israel?
In the area like Gaza.
From the north.
Yeah, north.
And they were going toward the east, you know? Okay? This is...
So why is that?
Well, maybe because they were not the children...
the children of the...
everybody had the position. And
right.
Later on, we saw in Bereshit, you know, the Jacob, you know, how he treated the children of the concubines, as sometimes look like as lessers.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Leah, they didn't have any relationship with Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever, what I was trying to bring to all of us is this idea about that everyone has a place, a position. You know, for example, sometimes, even today, you know, in the life of today, we look at who's the one that gives us a lot of food to eat? The farmers.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And how they look the farmers today? A low class. Sometimes. In certain part of the world, the one who produce the food for us, they are not considered in a very good position.
Mm-hmm.
They are the lowest of the lowest sometimes. Today we don't have the criteria that everybody is important, and because we measure ourselves by what are we thinking we are better or we are more important than others. And the Creator is telling us, all of us, we are the same. We are, the you know, unity doesn't mean uniformity, and everybody can do, and we can bring unity with people who think different too. Not everybody needs to think exactly the same way. You know how boring would be this world if everybody think exactly the same way? You know, you cannot argue with anybody, you cannot talk to anybody because you cannot disagree. You know, in Judaism, we have a saying, two Jews, three opinions. And that's a part of us. You know, when a Jew goes to an island by himself, what he does, the first thing that he does, he builds 3 synagogues. Well, he built 3 synagogues. One that he attended, the other that from time to time will attend it, and the other one that he will never attend.
One Ashkenazi, one Sephardic, and one he'd never step into.
Exactly.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Shabbat Shalom to all.
Shabbat Shalom, Keturah.
Pardon?
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, Rabbi.
Yes.
I have a situation.
Yes.
Okay, now you spoke about everybody having their position, everybody having the responsibility, right?
Yes.
And you also spoke about people. We may look the same, but we are not really the same, so to speak, in our functions. But my question is it fair? Because there's supposed to be, in the way God created us, there's a lot of variety. And we all have our different personality, our different character. But is it fair that if you consider yourself to be maybe an outspoken person, you say it like it is it fair to deal that same way, on that same level with everybody that you encounter? Or should there be space for you to adjust the way you would approach somebody based on his or her personality?
Everybody understood the question? We need to repeat it. Peggy, do you?
Yes, I understand perfectly because I'm involved in that every single day of my life.
No, but I want that you say it again because I want that everybody get it, the question.
You would like me to repeat it?
Yes, please, because sometimes the sound, you get cut and I cannot understand completely.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I was saying that based on the parasha, I understand that everybody has his or her own function, her own personality, her own responsibility.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And God created us in a variety of ways. And like you said, the world would be a very boring place if everybody were thinking the same and acting the same way.
Yes.
So if I consider myself to be a very outspoken person,
yes,
somebody who is very impulsive, somebody who just says it like it is, and I say, you know, this is who I am. For me, it's not enough to just say this is who I am. So my question is, do you think it is fair? Do you think it is right for me, being an outspoken person, saying it like it is, to deal or to behave with everybody that I encounter on the same level? Or do I need to make room for adjustments based on the person's personality type?
Excellent question. You know, I deal with that all the time as a professional counselor. Let me tell you, sometimes I would like to tell people like it is, and I need to hold myself sometimes. And there is what I call to have a little bit of wisdom, okay? Not because you are outspoken and not you have that personality that tells everybody like it is. You have the right to tell everybody like it is. Because, and you remember when I say the rights of somebody ends when the rights of somebody else begins. What I recommend a person like you is to be wiser. What it means when I say wiser. that you measure what you need. You don't need to be mute, but you need to learn a little bit, I would say, diplomacy, to learn how to say the things without breaking anybody's body, bones. You can say the same thing. My father, blessed be his memory, he used to say to me, son, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. It is the way that we talk is more important than to be right or wrong.
And doesn't it also depend on the relationship that you have with the person?
Depending on the relationship, no. But it doesn't mean that, for example, if somebody does something wrong, okay, you cannot say anything. That doesn't mean that. You can give an opinion. You can make a statement. And there are going to be people who are very abusive. They don't like, that's their problem. This is the reason. All depend the circumstances. I'm going to put you another example that happens constantly. Somebody says something out of place. Okay? And they say something against my person, and I get hurt. Then instead to jump over that person in that moment, in front of everybody, how you there? I wait, and then I talk to this person privately. And I would say, what did you say or what you did that really hurt me or really did, and that's wrong. And I say, you owe me an apology, but the apology that you owe me is not private. It's public because you say it publicly. And that is to be direct and honest without making a big deal, but being direct. And if the person say, you know what, I don't care, that person is not your friend or anything else. Okay, that person doesn't deserve your company. And you depart.
Sometimes something is bothered. I don't know specifically what you're talking about, Keturah. I don't know if you want to be a little more specific, but sometimes the behavior of somebody may bother you, but it may be a very subjective thing for you. It may not bother everybody. Maybe it hasn't hurt, maybe they didn't hurt you personally or hurt somebody else. There's so many different, it's like gray areas.
Without cutting you short, just as you said, gray areas, because the rabbi mentioned earlier in the drash that certain religious people, for them, everything is in black and white. And for me, the way I see it, the way I understand it is that when you see the world in black and white is that there's no room for growth. Okay, you're not making any allowance for error in anybody's life. Right. It's either yes or no. It's either in or you out. You're either right or you're wrong.
Right.
And for me, I don't have that outlook on life. For me, it's all about the grace, the in-betweens, because everything is not always open and shut in life. And we have to make allowance for that with people. So that's the point I was trying to make.
Yes.
Yes. It just happened to me yesterday. So I totally get what you're talking about.
But by the way, Keturah, you are a wonderful Keturah. And there are not two Keturahs in this world. You are the very special Keturah. And because of that, be yourself. Sometimes if you do something that maybe is out of place, you have the right to make it right. And I mean, you can say, I'm sorry, and I committed a mistake, and that's it. But most of the time, who we are is not an excuse to be disrespectful to others.
Yeah.
No, not because God made me like this, I can do whatever I want to do. There are boundaries in all of us, for that reason I mentioned the rights of somebody ends when the rights of somebody else begins. And we need to be careful too. in sociology, they talk about that all of us, we have our circles around us, you know? And when somebody gets in our personal circles, it's an intrusion, you know? And we need to learn to respect those circles unless they give you the opportunity to talk. When I do counseling, for example, I need to be very careful if I am allowed to get in the personal areas. And usually what I ask to any person that I do counseling, I say, you need to allow me to be personal. You know, in that way, you don't take it as an insult, you don't take it as something against you or anything like that. It's only a counseling. Sometimes people do not like to be that you unmask them. You know, all of a sudden we wear masks. And sometimes people don't like to be unmasked. And sometimes people deserve to be unmasked. All depends on the situations. Not everything is written, you know. Use common sense, use respect, self-respect and respect to others, and that will work. But thank you. Good question. Anything else from
Miriam? You want to say something? You have to unmute yourself. Miriam, you have to unmute.
I just unmuted.
Okay.
Just an extension of what Andres asked. Maybe I didn't hear it all, I wasn't clear, but I understand that the 10 Commandments, the tablets, are what God gave to Moses. But the Torah as we have it now, because you read in other portions where it says, and Moses wrote everything down. I'm not talking about the tablets, but the 5 books that we have now, is that something Moses later wrote down, and you read about some kings who had it beside their bed, etc. Is the Torah that we have now written by Moses?
I'm sorry, I don't
Is
know.
the Torah that we have now, the 5 books of Moses, because it was Alejandro who was saying that God gave us the 10 Commandments at Sinai. That was written in stone. But the rest of the books were all written down by Moses. Do you think that they were written actually by Moses himself over the period of time he was in the desert?
The 5 books that we have
I
now.
have a very simple faith, and I believe that was written by Moses. I don't have the problem with that.
Okay.
What I was trying to give it maybe my personal understanding, and please, I am saying my personal understanding, okay? I want that you take note about that. I am not talking as cathedra. I am not anybody who wants to teach something that doesn't come from God. But my understanding is I mentioned very clear that there are 2 areas that the Creator talks and mentions and with the 10 developed areas. And one is what I call it the rituals, and the other the morals. Okay? And there were a lot of areas that he spoke specifically in order to be present, okay, and to participate in the Mishkan for the people of Israel when they were united as a group. We can extend it out for ever and ever and ever, but we need to understand the instructions of the Creator about what is tahor and what is tamei, what is permitted and what is not permitted, and in which areas. That was in the area of coming to the Mishkan to do the rituals in the Mishkan, and to maintain the land of Israel at that time, the area of Israel, as something pure, I would call it in this way, tahor, without the pollution of the outside. Now, that was at the time that Israel was together, and the time that Israel was as a nation together. They have the Mishkan. They have this. With the time, we read the Chronicles, we read the Kings, we read the prophets. We are going to see that a lot of things happen. Okay, and constantly the prophets and the different people were talking about how Israel was going from the wrong to the wrong. No, and were disobedient, they were not obeying. And there were areas in which they needed to give, for example, interpretations. They needed to actualize ideas. I'm going to give you a totally different example, but it's a very good example. When they talk about there is no, according to the rabbis, the Torah is inflexible. It's not true. It has been changing with the time. For example, for the Orthodox rabbis, when Ezra came to rebuild the fences and then the temple with Nehemiah, they changed the idea who is a Jew. You know, the Torah very clear say that the Jew is through the father. They decided to make it through the mother. The question is who is right. You know, to me, I don't have any problem. Both are right. You can be a Jew through the mother or through the father. No, but if you fix on the Torah very clear say that you are a descendant or you are Israel through the father, not through the mother.
Could the first 4 books have been written by Moses and yet the 5th one be written by someone who was, because it was written about Moses more than Moses writing himself? That's what it seems in the writing.
The Barim is Moses is talking in first person. So in the other ones is third person. This is the difference. Mm-hmm. And Moses is going to bring, in the Barim, he's going to bring, for example, with the spies, and what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. You know, he's saying that God told him, and I choose, and in Numbers, say that God said to send men. Then and the opposite, about hitting the rock. In Numbers, we read the Creator gave us very clear instructions not to do that, only to talk. And what does he say? Because of you, I did it. He justified himself why he lost his possibility to go to the promised land. No, because of the people of Israel. Because you forced me. But before in Numbers, it's very clear that he lost his temper. And he disobeyed God. Then, how do you take? One is from his point of view, the other is from God's view.
So even in the Torah itself, the 5 books, there are some words that are, he's speaking directly, this is what God said, but there's other things that are basically opinion. Yes. Like what you said about Ezra. Yes. It was his opinion.
Yes.
So it's not, because when people say, oh, everything is divinely inspired, and they hold...
That is a very, by the way, that is a very Christian term about divine inspiration.
Right.
Okay, that everything is divine, every letter, every little point, everything is God's word.
Right.
Okay. You can think in that way, you can believe in that way, but you get yourself in a lot of troubles thinking in that way. No, the revelation and the thing, they don't match what you say. Mm-hmm. They cannot be together. I was listening this Bart Ehrman, this ex-Christian professor in the university, and one of the things that he made him lose his faith, that he is a macher in Greek, and he dreams in Greek, he speaks Greek, and he does all in Greek, no? And he lost his faith in God because he discovered that not every part of the New Testament was okay.
Divinely inspired.
Divinely inspired, you know? To me, the inspiration is not so much what in everything that because it's exactly what is written, but the inspiration is in the Word of God and how He has communicated to us, you know? And there are many wonderful things that even in the Talmud are wonderful things, you know? In the New Testament, there are wonderful teachings, you know? Bye.
Bye, Buzz.
Bye, Buzz.
We're leaving now anyway. 3 more minutes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. In case the United States opens for the houses of worship next week, we will be traveling during this time to get to our shul.
We will miss you.
It has been a blessing to be with you if I'm not here next week.
You have been a blessing to us.
People.
Thank you, Buzz. And really
so blessing to you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
One thing we need to take in consideration, okay? And because this is what I am trying to bring to all of us. And this is what I made, Alejandro, thank you, because you understood in certain way my message, a little bit, in the sense of the only thing that's written on the rock is the Ten Commandments. Everything else can be understood, even molded in different ways, expressed in different ways. You know, we are living now in a totally different society than 4,000 years ago. We need to learn about how to apply the principles. You know, you know, it's very interesting. This is very interesting. There are certain people that they make certain things like a rock that are not as important as the Ten Commandments.
That's right.
You know, for example, in the ultra-Orthodox, the peyotes, you know, the way that they dress, that sometimes this is more important than to be faithful to the Creator. You know, and I mentioned it because that's visible, but how many other people who supposedly, they call themselves believers, or they call themselves that they have a religion, or they have a group of, a very sanctified congregation, they are very purist, you know, and they look that everything that they do is right. But how you are being able to see their hearts? Are you able to see their kavanah, their intentions? This is what is more important. You know, you can look like totally kosher. And I'm talking about kosher not only about the food. I am talking about the way that you talk, the way that you dress, the way that you look, everything is kosher. You're 100%. You know, when you go to the synagogue, you don't do according to what the rabbi say. 3 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. You bound your head on this side, you bound your head on the other side. And if you didn't start at the right time, you need to start again. You know, you do all the secrets of the rabbis. But in your heart, there is hate. In your heart, there is evil. What good is about? Pure religion. What about if you think that you're right and everybody else is wrong, and you start hating everybody else because they don't think like you? Well, there is something wrong. Then, for that reason, I always like to bring you back Emunah, Bitachon, Bechira Hofshi, and Kavanah. Simple. At the end, Kavanah, your intention. Always your intention. That is what molds you. You know, you can be the more saint person in the world, the more loving care in the world, and everything is a facade. What is important is what is inside you. I mentioned this morning about who can see the heart. Nobody. But we have something, and people can see certain things in us through our actions. Mm-hmm. And that's what comes across. I appreciate it's a wonderful Shabbat. And to me, this.
Sorry, just a quick.
Yes.
Just a quick. I just want to know, I have to go back to work. So Friday, the May 29th is a Shavuot. It's Shavuot. It's a day I have to give notice at work, right?
Yes.
Just to make sure my dates are right. Friday.
I thought school was canceled till September.
It's a whole long, about 10 minutes before, half an hour before coming on to the service today. I just found out I have to go back. So it's really strange. Very weird. Anyway, so that it is Friday the 29th is the Shabbat.
Yes.
The evening.
I know it's evening, but I'm not.
Oh, no.
They start on Thursday.
It starts Thursday night, right.
Well, I have to take Friday off from work. That's
Yes.
Shavuot start on Friday, o sea, Thursday evening.
Yeah.
El Shavuot empieza el jueves en la noche. For those one, okay?
Yeah.
And the Shabbat is the second, in the diaspora, they celebrate the second day of Shavuot as a Shavuot. And this is the Shabbat, it's called Shabbat Shavuot. In case that you are interested to know. And this is the reason that the readings, the maftir, everything is different. It's not the same. I read, by the way, that in the United States, they were trying to open the places of worship for the next week. I don't know if that's going to happen with us too here in Canada. I doubt it, but if that's the case, we're trying to do what we need to do, okay?
And for those of you who didn't know, Monday was Rabbi's birthday.
Yeah!
He turned the great big 70.
Mark Young and I became a pure man. Un hombre puro. Without knowing, sin darme cuenta. Because I became 70. 70. And you know what in Gematria? 7 is total conclusion, perfect, done, perfect. No more to do. Then I am perfect now. And number 10.
Happy birthday!
Eternity.
Thank
forever.
You,
sorry, you cannot get rid of me. No. Only for this year. Then 71 is over. Anyway, thank you. I am getting younger.
Yes, you are.
Bueno, doña Julia, ya la alcanzo pronto. Ya la alcanzo. Así que no se vaya muy rápido, que ya la alcanzo. Estoy aumentando. Bueno. Thank you so much for this beautiful day. Enjoy your Shabbat. It's sunny outside here in Montreal.
Yes.
I don't know how it's in... ¿Cómo está allá en El Salvador?
Nublado.
Nublado.
Va a llover.
Oh,
sí.
Y aquí está sol. Aquí está el sol.
Le voy a enseñar un poco.
Sí.
Quiero ver si medio se logra ver. Está muy nublado.
Ah, sí,
sí,
se puede ver.
Wow.
Yeah. Pero por lo menos es más fresco, ¿no?
Sí. Está bastante fresco, pero Bueno, está húmedo, realmente está muy húmedo.
Qué lindo.
Wow.
Ah,
All right, Miriam, call me. We'll go for a walk.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe later. I have to.
Angelo, you has estado muy callado. You have been very quiet. What's wrong with you? ¿Estás enfermo?
No. No. Hay mucha información en la que pensar.
There's a lot of information to think. Thank you. Alona, ¿cómo vas?
Pues,
Perfect. Good.
Rabbi.
And the children?
Children good.
Good. Perla, ¿todos están bien? Everybody's okay?
Yes, Rabbi, everybody. It's okay.
Everybody. Good.
Thank you.
Saraí, ¿cómo está México?
Estamos bien, Rabbi.
¿Cómo está el clima?
Está soleado. ¿Cumplió años ya, verdad, Rabbi?
Sí.
¡Felicidades!
La verdad que me puse a llorar.
¿Por qué?
Ya pasé la línea en los 60, ahora estoy en los 70.
En los 70.
Me estoy haciendo viejo.
No diga eso. No diga eso, Rabbi.
No, pero...
Hoy cumpliría 23 años Naomi.
Ay.
Hoy cumpliría. También me acuerdo por la fecha de...
Ella, y quiero decirte que ella está en mejor lugar que nosotros y ella se está gozando la presencia del Eterno. Así que para esa niña vale oro. Noemí, me acuerdo de ella, 23 años ahora.
Hoy cumpliría, sí. Por eso me acuerdo, dije, creo que ya cumplió primero el rabino, porque después cumplían.
Si usted...
Rabbi, happy birthday. God bless you.
Quiero mostrarles algo a todos ustedes. Una de mis favoritas, gente. ¡Bravo!
Que la cante otra vez.
Muchas gracias, me llenaron.
¡Ay, qué lindo!
Me llenaron con mucho amor y yo estoy muy contento. Iliana, no podía hablar con usted toda esta semana. ¿Cómo están todos por casa?
Bien, Rabino, gracias.
Qué gusto verla, a su mami allí. Qué gozo tenerla aquí con nosotros. Doña Julia. Qué lindo. ¿Y todo el resto de la familia, todos están bien?
Todo bien.
¿Cómo está don Mauricio Martínez?
Mauricio va bien, Rabino.
¿Ha madurado un poco?
Un poco.
Qué bueno. Qué lindo. Entonces, ya con la familia Alvarado, ¿todos bien?
Todo bien, gracias a Dios.
No, Alvarado.
La familia Alvarado. No, pero ella también es Alvarado, ¿verdad? Tiene razón. Pero estoy hablando de los Alvarado de arriba. Ellos están en el segundo piso.
También son Alvarado.
Sí. ¿Todos los Alvarados de la familia del segundo piso están bien?
Sí, todos estamos bien, Rabino, Shabbat Shalom.
Qué lindo.
Con ganas de verlo.
Gracias. Aquí Brian Benjamín, no sé si está en el baño, pero no lo veo. Así que espero que esté bien. Benjamín, how you doing?
I'm in the background.
Turn off you're in the bathroom?
I'm in the background.
You're in the, yeah, you can turn on your camera,
Okay,
and then we can say goodbye to you.
I just want to know, was that a joke about Brian, about his heart? Oh, you really have something wrong with your heart? What's the...
I had a thing where my heart, when I went for a walk, my heart rate went up over 170. And when I came back and I was resting, it didn't go down. And now I take this medicine that brings it down to a bicycle heart rate.
But you don't really have a hole in your heart. You're joking about that, no?
He told me that he...
Ah?
Somebody, one of those doctors said I had a hole.
That you have a hole in your heart.
No, he has a hole in his head.
Well, that's we all have.
And Rhonda, how you doing?
I don't hear you, Rhonda.
Mute.
Rhonda, how you doing, Rhonda?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
And good. Eso significa que está bien. And good. Okay, Rhonda speaks the southern language.
From the south.
Yeah. Okay. And good.
You're further south.
She's,
You're further south.
The people in this house, they don't know that they think they're Jewish by their mother.
Okay.
Mauricio Quintero, before I leave, all the family, the children are okay? ¿Todos los
Yes,
niños
they are
también?
good. Todos están súper bien.
No los he
Ahora
visto alrededor tuyo, por eso es que te pregunto.
No, estuvieron en
¿estuvieron
todo
aquí?
el servicio. Sí,
Ya,
exacto.
qué bueno. Me lo
Sí,
saluda,
sí,
disculpa
gracias.
que no tuve tiempo de saludarlo.
Claro, claro. Gracias.
Bueno, que tengan ustedes una linda semana que empieza, I will say Shavuot, que tengan una linda semana. Everybody has a wonderful week. Thank you so much for this time together. And you made my heart singing. And thank you, the Alvarado, for that beautiful, beautiful serenata.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to all of you.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.